Okay, so I am very excited about this next section. We are very privileged to have Donnie Cochran with us, and Donnie is no stranger to the Coca-Cola Company. He spent many years in the aviation department here, and before he's now moved on to become a motivational speaker. And I had the pleasure of hearing him. We were trying to figure out how long ago it was. I think it was probably about 12 or 14 months ago when he just started on this journey, and it was probably, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it was just unbelievable to sit back and kind of hear some of his messages, because in his career, he's coming to us from the civil aviation industry. He started in that in December of 2000, and he had 24 years in the aviation business with the U.S. Navy. He retired from the Navy as a captain in November of 2000. His Navy career included duty as a fighter pilot, flying the RF-8 and the F-14A from the decks of the aircraft carriers USS Nimitz and USS Ranger. He also did 2 tours with the Blue Angels. And in 1985, he was honored by his selection as the first African-American pilot to fly with the Blue Angels. And in 1994, he was honored again by his selection as the first African-American pilot to command the Blue Angels. So he flew over 2,200 hours with the Blue Angels and more than 300 air shows before 30 million spectators. So when we think our job is tough, we can think about that job. So let me turn it over to Donnie and let him share his message with us.
Thank you so much, Ann. How many of you have seen a Blue Angel air show before? Okay, fantastic. I have a video that I would show at some point during our conversation today, and it highlights some of the maneuvers I had an opportunity to fly as a Blue Angel pilot. Let me say this. I have over 888 carrier landings, many of them, about 1/3 of them at night. I have flown over 600 air shows and practice air shows. I have flown about 600 maneuvers flying an airplane at 380 knots, 300 feet above the ground. And the most important thing is I survived 10 years at Coca-Cola. So I am extremely happy to be here. Let me say this also. I like to make this sort of, if you have questions, certainly ask them as we go through the process. And what I would like to share with you is not only the lessons that I learned from the Blue Angels and the Navy and UPS, but also here at Coca-Cola. And with that said, let me get started. We're flying approximately 380 knots, 300 feet above the ground. Yep. When the number 2 pilot, he's going to look for a visual reference point called center point, and that is our cue to come out of the maneuver. No one of us is more important than the rest of us. And that's very important because each one of us have staff or co-workers or partners that work to get the job done. And it's very important to make sure that they feel that they're part of the team. And why did I say that? Because every air show, or before you fly, you had to do a pre-flight. And I can tell you, I never did one before an air show or a practice show. I just walked up, saluted, and get in the airplane and went fly. Why? Because I extended the trust to my crew chief to do the pre-flight, check the engines. So the only thing I had to do was salute and get in the airplane and go fly. The question is, what level of trust do you have on your teams? And are you working to build that trust to a level such that you can get the most out of everyone on the team? Everyone has to feel valued. This is the wingtips I was telling you about. This is about 2 feet away. Look at the closeness of these wingtips. You could send a ripple through the formation very easily. But the ACE that I want to share with you is it stands for attitude, character, and enthusiasm. There's a reason why I was very fortunate and blessed to be selected to the Blues twice, and I think it was because I had an ACE attitude. And what that means, again, is attitude. Never underestimate the power of a positive and engaging attitude. And it's your ability to maintain the belief that you can transform or change a tough situation into something better. And guess what? For you as leaders, it's not enough for you to show up with a good attitude. You got to encourage the people around you to sort of, hey, you're on the team. I need you engaged. That's what you got to do to get your team engaged to the next level. Your character is your most effective means of persuasion and influence, and you must answer a simple question, and we talked about it already, and that is, do you walk your talk? Are you trustworthy? How about respect? Do you follow the golden rule? Responsibility, or your self-discipline? How about fairness? I have a long story about fairness, but I won't go into it now, but fairness. Do you listen? Do you treat people fairly? It's amazing that those simple things will undermine your effort to get the most out of your people. And remember this, and that is, it's about who you are far more than what you know. For many years, I used to say, with a great deal of passion, that you must pay the cost to achieve your goals. But life has taught me you don't pay the cost, you enjoy the journey. You pay the cost if you don't figure out how to, deliver high value and achieve that stretch objective. You pay the cost if you don't figure out how to have a balanced life between here at work and your family life. But you enjoy the cost that it takes for you to have a rewarding work experience. And people ask me all the time, hey, big time, how are you able to keep such a good attitude? Well, it boils down to this statement. You should always have something to look forward to, and the best is yet to come. Thank you very much for your time. All right, Ann.
Thank you so much. That was just fantastic. I think we all agree. Wow, that was just, it's nice to step back and think about those concepts, and I still can't imagine flying that close to the ground. Wow.